Kakalosh Boker Tov, we're going to be continuing with Daf Kuf Chet. This is Daf 108. Okay, we are by the two dots. Again, we're talking about by the two dots because we just said, or we'll just start from the beginning just very, very quickly. Basically, we said if you had this fungus which is growing, right, and that's what it said on Kuzan, I'm going to buy a Haiman de Talash, Pitra Meuna de Chatzba. If you're going to take off this fungus from the handles of a jar, you're going to be chayav because you are uprooting something from where it grows. So Mati Rav Oshia comes and asks the following question: Hatolesh matzitz nakuv chayav shenu nakuv patur. This is 1 second. Here it says that if you're going to take away, to detach something from a atzitz, which is basically a flower pot which has a hole in it, and therefore it's getting its nourishment from the ground, you're going to be chayav mishum kotzer. But if it's not going to be nakuv, it doesn't have a hole, you're going to be patur. So what's the difference between detaching it from a flower pot that does not have a hole and therefore it does not get any type of a nourishment from the ground and what we just mentioned before also? So answers the Gemara, Hatam lav hainu revite, hacha hainu revite. There, right, when you're going to take out a yerek, a vegetable, from an atzit sheno nakuv, it's not a normal place of growing. Here, in this case, it is the normal place of growing. Okay? Fine. Chayava off, or by the two dots, where it says, if you're going to take a chayava off, wild animal or a bird, and you're going to be chovel bahen, you're going to come and you're going to make a chabila in it, so you're going to be chayav, right? You're going to make a, how do you call it, wound. So Amar Ravuna says, Kodvin tefillin rabe or shel of tahor. He says, we are going to come and we're going to write tefillin on the or, on leathers of an of tahor, of a tahor bird. Amar Rav Yosef says of Yosef, what are you coming to teach you? Ditle or, that it has or. Tanina, we already learned in the Mishnah. Hachoveh bahen chayav. Just like if you're going to do a chavila in it, you're going to be chayav. Why? Because it's considered it has or. So too here it has or, and therefore you're allowed to write tefillin on or of or shel of tahor. So answers the Gemara. Amalei Abaye says no. Tuva kamash malan. It's coming to teach us a bigger thing. Dimi matnitin. If it was going to be from our Mishnah, Havamina, I would have thought to say, since it has nikve, which means since the or of the off has nikavim, they have, right, basically where the feathers are, they have little tiny holes. So therefore, I would have thought that you're not allowed to write a tefillin on it because the nikavim are like I have sek, meaning I'm starting to write. And now there's a little hole here, a little hole here. So when I'm writing, it's like I have sek. Kamash Malan comes teach you, kedamri b'ma'arava. Kol nekev, any type of a hole, shadio overet alav, that the ink falls through it and it closes it off, eno nekev, it's not a nekev, and therefore you're still allowed to kosher, to write the tefillin on it, and there's no problem whatsoever. Okay? Meitvei Rabbi Zera, so come, they asked Rabbi Zera from the following Braita, the shisal to bichnafav, the Kohen used to come and tear open the goof of the off, right? They used to split it open, right? So it says, Be'od knafav alav, when it still had the feathers. And then he used to bring it to the Mizbeach. Lachshid et or. This comes to tell you that even you're allowed to bring the or to the Mizbeach, right? Which means you don't have to skin it in order to bring the or. You could actually even bring it with the or. Now, if you're going to tell me that it is or, how do we add it in that you're allowed to bring it to the Mizbeach? Meaning, if you split open the bird whole and you still have the skin, you're allowed to bring it to the Mizbeach. How do we learn that? Abaye says, Orhu Rachmana Rabbi. The Torah says it's or, and still it's fitting, right, to bring it to the Mizbeach. Which means, since they learned the Mefurash, that they're bringing it, it's Gzerat HaKatuv, that or be'ema is pasul, but or off is kasher. Okay? Ikadam, neither those that say. Amar Bizera says Bizera. Afananami Tanina, we also learned it in our Mishnah. It says, V'shisa oto bichnafav. What does it mean, Lerabot ta'or, including the or that you're allowed to bring to the Mizbeach? If you're going to tell me it's or, that's why you needed a pasuk to include it, that you're allowed to bring it. Okay? But if you're going to tell me it's not or, so why do you have to bring a pasuk to add it in? So Abaye comes and he tells you, really I'm going to tell you lav orhu, it's not or, the itzrich, and you still need it. I would have thought to say, since it has little tiny holes, ma'is, it becomes disgusting, and therefore you're not allowed to come and bring it. Kamash malan, that it's not considered disgusting, and you're allowed to actually come and you're allowed to bring it without a problem. Ask Mor Bered Ravina from Nachman B'Yitzchak. Are you allowed to write tefillin on top of or of a dag tahor? Amalo, he tells him, Im yavo Eliyahu v'yomar, if Eliyahu Navi will come and say, right? Ma'im yavo Eliyahu v'yomar. What does it mean? What does it mean? Meaning, if Eliyahu Navi will come and tell us the answer, what does that mean if he's going to tell us the answer? Ilema, if you're going to tell me, or whether he's going to tell us whether it has or or not. It does have or. We see it with our own eyes. Well, we need Eliyahu Navi to tell you that it has or. We know that it has or. The or, and furthermore, Hatzanan, we learned in the Mishnah, Atzamot dag ve'oro matzlim be'olamet. The atzamot of the dog and its skin, so the bones and the skin, are going to be matzlim be'olamet. So it comes out that if you made from it a kli satum, a utensil which is completely enclosed, it saves something from the tumat hamet. Ela, but rather, if he tells her that there's no more sirachon or not after it, that's when you're going to find out whether you're allowed to or not. Okay? Just give me one. So after that, we come and we say whether it was Paska Zuama or not, which means we're trying to find out. Eliyahu Navi is going to come and he's going to tell us whether the Zuama, which is the Tum'ah of the fish, has gotten away or not. Shmuel v'Karna avuyatvu aguda denehar malka. So Shmuel and Karna were sitting on the river banks, which was going from it said to Bavel. So they saw that the waters were coming higher up because of the galim, and they were becoming very dark, meaning it wasn't as clear anymore. So Amar Shmuel lekarna, says Shmuel lekarna, Gavra Rabba Kati Marava. There's a great person that came from it, and he's got a problems with his stomach. And the waters are coming up to greet him. So zilte taile kankere, go and check him out, smell out what's going on, see who it is. So he went and he found Rav. So this is Karna went and he found Rav. So Amarle, he told him, how do we know that we only write tefillin on gabe or shebema Torah? Amalo dichtiv, it says in the leman tiye Torah Hashem beficha. What does it mean leman tiye Torah Hashem beficha? Mina mutar beficha, from that which is permitted in your mouth. Meaning when it says mina mutar beficha, whatever is permitted in your mouth, that's what you're permitted to come and you're permitted to eat. That's what you're allowed to do. So minayin ledam shehu adom. How do we know to blood that it is red? He continued asking him. Shneimar, it says in Pasuk, vayiru Moav mineged tamayim adumim kadam. Red waters which are like blood. So red is blood. Minayin lemila beotom makom. How do we know the bri milah is in that place? Or obviously in the private part. So ne'emar kan or latov and ne'emar lehalan or latov. It's written or la by bri milah, and it's written or la by the 3 years. Right? So he says, Malahalan, just like over there, the Varsho Seperi, it's something that procreates and makes fruit. So too, it has to be the Brit Milah, which procreates, which makes fruits. So ask the Gemara, Ema Bilibo, maybe he asked him, Karna asked him, maybe it's the heart, but it's written you're going to circumcise your heart. So he says, Ema Bills, no, maybe it's your ear, but it's written near Miyaw. So says the Gemara, Danin orlatot tamah orlatot tamah. We see orla from orla by itself. Not with you're adding in another adjective or you're adding in another name. Then the ulato tamam olat, right? Shena tamam. Olat is not orla, right? It's you're adding something. So therefore, it's two different things. Amalei told him, "My shemach." So Rav comes and he tells, right, Karna, what's your name? So he told him Karna. Amalei yeher Rava detepuk lekarna beeneh. You should have a keren coming out of your eyes. So he says, right, that it says as if to say that he realized that he was only trying to test him. So he said that he should have, as if to say, like some type of a keren, a horn coming out of his eyes. So the end, Shmuel took in Rav into the house. And he gave him barley bread. The kasa de hirsena, right? And kasa de hirsena is, how do you call kasa de hirsena? Kasa de hirsena is a type of a dug, right?
Yes.
Which is
fried fish.
Fried fish, exactly, with kemach, with flour. The ashki shichra, he gave him beer, but he didn't show him the washroom. And miskin, imagine, he gives him all these things and he doesn't show him the washroom. So what happened? So he should have shilshulim. He should have diarrhea. He said, woe to the person that caused me to suffer that he shouldn't have children. Shemuel didn't have any boys. He only had girls because of this curse. Wow, imagine what it is, the power. So says the Gemara, really, be'emet, this machloket was a machloket tanaim. Minay lemila shebeoto makom. How do we know the milah is beoto makom in that place? Nemar kan olato v'nemar la'alan olato. It's written olato, two different places. Ma'lehalan, just like over there by the right by the trees, it's something which makes fruits. So to here, it's something that makes fruits. These are the words of Rabbi Yoshia. Rabbi Natan says, "Eno tzarich, I don't need it." Why? Hareu omer, it says in the pasuk, "V'harel zachar asher yimol b'salulato." Harel zachar, which you're not going to have a brit milah. Makom shenikar ben zachru nekivut. There has to be a place which you could recognize between a male and a female. Where's the place where you could recognize between a male and female? Oto makom. Fine. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. Kotvin tefillin legabe or behemat teora v'legabe or chayat teora. So you're allowed to write tefillin whether it's on the skins of a behemat teora and a chayat teora, whether it's a wild animal or the domesticated animal. Legabe or nevelot u'trefot shelahen, or on top of the or of nevelot u'trefot shelahen. Nichrachot besaran, and you could take the parashiot and you could actually, they could take it with their hairs and you could put it around. Benitparo begidan, and you could sew it with its sinews. Alachal Moshe Misinai, and Alachal Moshe Misinai is tefillin nichrachot besaram nitparem begidan. You could come and you could use it as a sinews. You know, for example, in tefillin, many times you have here gidin. You can't see it, right? These are all the different gidin, or on the other side here, right, where you have the gid, which is tying it. All those types of things, right? That's or on the bottom also, right? On the bottom you also have. That's all the orot or the gidin of the animals. Doesn't matter whether it's a behema or chayat teora, you're allowed to do it. Okay? Aval, en kotrim, you're not allowed to write tefillin on or shel behemat mea and not on or of chayat mea. You don't have to say al gabe or nevela or trefa shelem. Then you're not going to come, you're not going to use it for the se'ar or the gidin or the sinus. וזו שאלה שאל בייטוסי אחד, תבישו בן הגרסי. That was what once the Baitusi, one of the, remember, Baitus was one of the people of the Sadducees, Sedokim, Baitusim, right? So the Sadducees and Baitusim was the same type of a group. So they asked of Yoshua Garci, how do we know you're not to write tefillin on a behemat or behemat me'ah? So he says, Dichtiv, it says in the Pasuk, Man tiyeh Torat Hashem beficha, midavar motar beficha, that which is permitted in your mouth. So that's what we just said before, right, which we mentioned already, to do with everything which is going to be permitted in your mouth. That's the only thing that you're allowed to come, and you're allowed to write it on, but if not. Elameata, we're going to ask the following question. Al gabe or nevelot u'trefot, alikatvu, you're not allowed to write it on or nevelot u'trefot. So Amalo, he tells him, what are we going to bring you a mashal? To two different people, that they were going to be chayav al malchut. One of them, the king himself killed him, and one of them, Argo, is Paklitor, is like Sarat Tabachim, the one that, the executioner, that he killed him. Who's better? I would say the one that the king himself killed him, right? So too, Nevelotu Trefot, that they died from the Shamayim, are better than a Behemah that was killed through a human being. Now, if it is going to be that you're going to write a tefillin on or of Behemat Chayot Shenishchatu, Kol Sheken, you should write it on Nevelat Trefa. So ask the Gemara, yeah, but if it's like that, so you should also eat it also. Amale, no. To do with eating, the Torah says, Lo tochlu chol you're not allowed to eat a nevela. You're going to tell me eat it? If the Torah says mefurash, you're not allowed to eat it, you're not allowed to eat it. But you could use the skins because it's still in a mutar beficha. That would amalo kalos. He says, you're right. It's a very good reason. Because remember, they accepted everything which was written in the Torah shebe'al peh. Okay, perfect. So Bezrat Hashem, they're going to have, I'm in the middle of the show. So the Mishnah says on Kufchet Amud Aleph on the bottom, the Mishnah says, "En osini hilmi b'Shabbat." So you're not allowed to make hilmi. Hilmi is mim melach, which basically they come and they make for kfishat yirakot. They come and they make it for pickling different vegetables on Shabbat. Okay, so it says Kufchet Amud Bet, aval oset mei melech, but you're allowed to make the mei melech itself. So you're not allowed to make the hilmi, which is for the kfishat yirakot, but you're allowed to make mei melach. Okay, which again, we're going to have to explain the difference. What is memelach? What is hilmi? Hilmi is you're dipping it inside of it, and then memelach is memelach. And then you are allowed to dip your bread in the memelach. And you're allowed to put it inside of the tashil. Amar Rabbi Yosef says, Rabbi Yosef, v'alo hu hilmi be'merubeh u'be'muat. He says the hilmi is whether it's going to be merubeh or muat. Ve'elu en memelach mutarim. This is the memelach which is going to be permitted. Noten shemen lechatchila letoch hamayim or letoch hamelach. You're allowed to put shemen lechatchila inside of the water or inside of the melach or inside of the salt. Okay, so says the Gemara, My Kamar, what exactly are we talking about? Amar of Yudam Shmuel, it says of Yudam and Shmuel, Haki Kamar, this is what it means to say. En osi memelach merubin, aval osehu memelach muatin. You're not allowed to make memelach merubin, which is a lot, but you're allowed to make memelach muatin. So Amar Rabbi Yosef says Rabbi Yosef, that means you're not allowed to make a big quantity. You're allowed to make a small quantity of memelach. Amar Rabbi Yosef says Rabbi Yosef, the hilmi, which you're making as a dip, is whether it's merubin or muatin, right? So says the Gemara, Ibai lehu Rabbi Yosef, says Rabbi Yosef, le'esor or le'atid. Are we talking about to prohibit something? Or we're talking about to permit something? Amar Rav Yehuda says le'atid, to permit, even the merubin. So midilok tani Rabbi Yosef oser, the fact that we didn't learn Rabbi Yosef prohibits, right? So therefore, that's what we're trying to see over here. Since it doesn't say mifurash, the word saying Amar Rabbi Yosef oser, which means that it's muvan, that we're talking about even a small amount, and that's what Tanakama is coming to permit, and Rabbi Yosef is coming to oser. So obviously, we're not talking about that. Okay, so Amar le Rabba comes and he says, Hamid Tani Seifa, let's see the Seifa. Says the Seifa, Ve'eluhen memelach mutarim. These are the memelach which is permitted. Miklal Rabbi Yosef le'esor. So it comes out that Rabbi Yosef is coming, and he's prohibiting it. El Amar Rabba, but rather Rabba comes and he says, le'esor. What does it mean, le'esor? The Kavanah Rabbi Yosef is to prohibit it, right? The muatim. That means Tanakama said that if it's going to be a small amount, it's permitted. Comes Rabbi Yosef, and it's going to be Yosef. Rabbi Yochanan le'esor. So to Rabbi Yochanan says also the Kavanah of Rabbi Yosef was to prohibit it. Tanya Miyach, we also learned it in Raita. Enosi memelach merubim notel letocha kvashin. We do not make memelach merubim in order to put it inside the kvashin. Shebetocha gistra, inside of a kli cheres, which is broken. Aval oseh memelach muatin. But you're allowed to make memelach, which is a small amount. Ve'ochel be'em bito, and you're going to eat the bread. V'notel letocha tafshil, and you're going to put it inside of the tafshil. Amar Rabbi Yosef, says Rabbi Yosef, because these things are big quantity or small quantity, these ones are going to prohibit and these ones are going to be permitting it. Yomru, they're going to say, melacham ruba asura, melacham mu'etem muteret. According to your shita, they're going to tell you, listen, people are going to say logically, if you do a big quantity, prohibited. If you do a small quantity, it's going to be permitted. But rather, elu va'elu asurin, and they're both going to be asurin. These are the memelach which is permitted. You put oil and salt or oil and water. As long as you're not going to put salt and water lechatchila. But if you put salt and water lechatchila, it's a problem. And even nowadays, the oil takes away the effect of the salt. And that's why if you're going to pickle a salad on Shabbat, if you're going to first put the oil, afterwards you could add the salt, no problem. Because you already put the oil. Okay? Then it says, azin, sron, vetrog, siman. The siman to remember is going to be azin, which is very sharp, obviously. Snon, radishes, and etrog. Says the Gemara, you're not allowed to make a very strong salt water on Shabbat. Right? So he says, what does it mean strong salt water? Rabbi Yosef said, if the egg will come and the egg will be able to, if the egg will come and will be able to float on top of it, that's already considered memelach azim. Okay? Rabba Rav Yosef, Rabba David Tavayu. Rabba Rav Yosef, Rabba, both of them said, Kol shabetzat sava behena uvekama, how much is that? Amar Rabbi says, you have 2/3 salt and 1/3 water. And if you have 2/3 salt and 1/3 water, that's already considered, how do you call it? That's already considered salt water, that it's too powerful. So what are you doing this for? Amar Rabbi Yehu says, Rabbi Yehu, lemuriasa, for it's muriasa of dagim. It's like for a fish. They make it for a fish, brine. Tanya Yehuda Bar Chaviva says, Yehuda Bar Chaviva, en molchin tznon ubeitza b'Shabbat. You're not allowed to salt radishes and eggs on Shabbat. Rav Chizkiah Mishved Abaye Amar, Rav Chizkiah, in the name of Abaye says, tznon is going to be asur. Beitza is going to be permitted. That means you're not allowed to salt radishes, but you are permitted to salt eggs. Amar of Nachman says, at the beginning, we used to salt a few radishes together. Amina why? Because we're making them loose. The Amar Shmuel says, Snon Charif is actually even better. When you have the snon, the radishes, which is very sharp, it's even better. But once he heard that which Ula came and he said, that in Eretz he said they used to do tons of snon during the weekdays. They wouldn't do it during Shabbat anymore, even to eat it immediately. But you're allowed to be mitabel. So it comes out radishes, you're not allowed to salt a whole bunch of radishes. But you're allowed to salt a few one by one. Now there's no problem. Tanya Rabbi Yehuda bar Chabiba says, "Etrog tzno beitza in malek klipatan chitzodona enan yotzi mibnei me'aim leolam." If it wasn't for the outer klipa, they would never come out of the insides of the animal whatsoever, the birds that whatsoever. That means it's only because of the klipa that it comes out. If it wasn't because of the shell, it wouldn't have come out. He said, nobody ever drowned in the Yam of Sodom, because it's Yam HaMelach. Since there's so much salt water, you can't drown. There's too much salt water, right? I remember it used to float there. It was something incredible. People used to take the gemarot, lie down, and mamash, they were like floating because there was so much salt. Amar Rav Yosef says, "Afucha Sodom v'afucha milah." Says what? They said this to do with the Davarim Afuchim. Gavra udelot tava. A person never drowned in the Yam of the Sodom, of which, right? Keshura tava, but pieces of wood would drown in there. So Amalei Abaye says, "Lomi ba'e kaman." No. Lomi ba'e keshura. Not only is a piece of wood, it's not going to drown in the river. Meaning, when you have a piece of wood floats on water. Elafilu gavra, but even a human being that he does drown in the rest of the world, Yam Sodom lo tava. In the Yam HaMelach, he's not going to be tovia. What's an afkamina? Because Ravin used to go behind Rabbi Yirmiyah, Agud of Yam Sodom, on the river of Yam Sodom, Yam HaMelach. Amarle, and he told him, Mahu lemimshe mehani maya b'Shabbat. Can I wash myself in this waters on Shabbat? Amarle shapidami, he said you could. Ma'u lemimatz umiftach. Can I open and close my eyes in the water in order that the water goes inside? Amarle, he said, Zulo shamati, I didn't hear it. Kayotze b'Shamati, but I did hear something like this. Amar Rabbi Zera says, Zimni nama lemishmed Ramatana. Sometimes we said in the name of Ramatana. Zimni lemishmed de Morukva. Some people said the name of Morukva. Tarva mishmed Avod Shmuel. Some people said the name of Shmuel, of the father of Shmuel. Levi Damran, and then Levi that they said. Chadamar. One of them says Yain betoch ha'ayin. If you put wine in the eyes on Shabbat in order to wash it out, asur. It's asur because it's for refuah. It's like healing your eyes. Af al gav ha'ayin. If it's on top of the eyes, permitted. The Chadamar. One of them says rok tafel. Rok. If you didn't eat anything, and now you have the saliva that comes out. One of them says, so it's going to be asur even on top of the eye, because that's going to be refuah as well. So you're not allowed to do that on Shabbat. Remember, on Shabbat, you're not allowed to do anything of refuah. So we wanted to conclude that the father of Shmuel is the one that says that wine inside the eye is going to be asur. Al gav ayin mutar. If it's going to be on top of the eye, it's going to be mutar. Shmuel says, shorei adam pito beyayin. V'notno al gabe ayin. That a person is going to soak his bread on wine, and he's going to place it on top of his eye on Shabbat. Who do we hear? Wasn't it that he heard it from his father? The Gemara says, no. And according to your reasoning, that was Shmuel says, Rok tafel, which is again saliva that is tafel, that you didn't taste anything. Even on top of the eye is going to be asur. The Shmiya lemiman, who did he hear it from? If you're going to tell me that he heard it from his father, but what did Levi then say? One thing he heard from his father, one thing he heard from Levi. But we don't know what did he hear from his father, and we didn't know what he heard from Levi. I mean, for sure he heard two different things, but we didn't know what he heard from his father and what he heard from Levi. So Amar Maruk from Shmuel says Maruk name of Shmuel, Shorei Adam kilorin me'erev Shabbat. A person is allowed to put this water, these kilonin in water. Kilonin is like different types of things, which the Gemara is going to bring down for refuah. He's allowed to soak in water on Erev Shabbat, and then he's allowed to put it on his eyes on Shabbat. There's no problem of refuah. I guess they didn't make it says here that they didn't make such a decree against it. So Bar Levi was in front of Morukva, and he saw that he saw Bar Levi that he was putting kilonin in his eyes on Shabbat, and he was opening and closing the eyes. Amalei, he says, says 1 second. On top of the eye is permitted, but to start opening, closing, obviously you're causing it to go inside the eye. That for sure is not going to be permitted. So Shalach Rabbi Yana leMorukva, right? Rabbi Yana sent to Morukva, Leshadar Mehanach Kilonim Shmuel. Send it. Shalach, he sent it. Shad Meshalenach, he sent it. Lote Matzar Ainana. I'm not going to say that I'm Matzar Ain, that I'm stingy. I don't want to give things out, right? Elahach Yamashu. This is what Shmuel says. Tovat tipat sonen shachrit ulchitzat derem lemechamin arvit. When a person is going to come and he's going to put on his eyes in the morning, and that's why we wash our eyes. We say Modani, we wash our eyes. You know, the Beretev brings down in Yichot Shachrit, there was even psukim to say, when you put water on your face and in your eyes and everything, you wash your face. That is better than any kilonin in the world. And rechitzat yadayim raglayim bechamin, washing your hands and feet on hot water on arvit is better than any kilonim in the world. Tayyim Yachi also learned in the right time. Rabbi Munah Meshem Rabbi Yehuda says Rabbi Munah name Rabbi Yehuda tovat tipat sonin shachri rechitzat yadayim raglayim bearvit. Right, it's better washing your face with cold water in the morning and washing your hands and feet with hot water in the night than all the different refuot in the world that you're going to put. Rabbi Munah used to say, Yad la'ayin tikatzetz. If you put your hand in your eyes, it should get cut off because you bring a lot of diseases and things into your eyes. You should never put your hands in your eyes. Yad lechotem, put your hands in your nose, tikatzetz. Yad lapeh, in your mouth, tikatzetz, should be cut off. Yad laozen, in your ears, tikatzetz. Yad lechasuda, yad, when you're putting in the chabura v'hakazat dam, when you take out blood, you put your hand there, tikatzetz. Yad la'amat, you put your hand for your private parts, tikatzetz. Yad lefi atabat, inside of your anus, also tikatzetz. Yad legigit, right? Tikatzetz, right? He says it's also going to be tikatzetz. So basically, also if you're putting it inside of a gigit in the barrel of beer, also should get cut off. So all these things were just different halachot that we were just trying to learn. Obviously, we're going to explain tomorrow, what are the halachot for all these things. Chodesh Tov.